So I've always worked in a bank, and there was a bank in Belgium that wanted to save some money and make themselves more effective. And they went and asked a consulting firm to come in and help them. But the consulting firm had no IT experience. They'd never worked in IT. So they asked me to come and join them. I'd worked with them in another company for a different project to come with them. And I said, you know, I don't know Lean. And they said, yeah, but you know IT services and you know IT operations, and this is really where they want to concentrate. So we'll try to give you some of the basics of Lean, but then you have to use your experience to go out and then make what we've promised, which is savings, 20% efficiency and effectiveness, et cetera, come true. And you have to do that in Poland, Czech, and Hungary. So that was the beginning of my Lean experience. I started doing some reading, and of course the first book I read was Lean ITIL, which is where everybody starts. So I exchanged some emails with Steve Bell and Mike Orson, who challenged me to go and read this and then go and read that, like all good senseis. And every once in a while gave me a hint. And the challenge then was to try to blend Lean into IT, using my ITIL experience in services and operations. So like I said in the presentation, the easiest way for me to do that was to start at the service desk and to help them drive the change then through IT by improving the way that they worked. Okay, so that was interesting. ITIL has a very, the first thing is that ITIL and Lean are both based upon Deming's PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. So that was comforting to know because I had grown up with PDCA from ITIL, so I didn't have to change that. And then as I started talking to them, they were using terms that I was aware of. They said, okay, we're going to do root cause analysis. All right, I do root cause analysis. Well, we use Ishikawa. Yeah, okay, I know how to use a fishbone diagram. And we use Pareto. Okay, I know how to use Pareto. And we have key performance indicators. Yep, ITIL has key performance indicators. So we created a circle of ITIL, okay, which is world famous and known, and we mapped it to the circle of Lean, and they were similar. You could almost go like this. And once that happened, I started to feel comfortable. Okay, that was like one of the things that I showed in my presentation was how similar they were. And the same with COVID. Well, ITIL and COVID are very heavy, okay? They're very, process. Look at the process. They don't ask anybody to actually think differently. They don't challenge people to think about what value you're really going to be bringing. COVID has a governance module, which ITIL doesn't have, and COVID tries to introduce some value, but it's always from the IT perspective. And it's very difficult to show it from the customer perspective. And I think Lean forces you. You cannot be successful with Lean if you don't involve the customer, okay? So the first thing that had to happen was you had to get, all the guilty parties in the same room. The business had to be involved, IT had to be involved, the suppliers had to be involved, and then you have to find a way to facilitate that discussion so that whatever comes out of the room is then of value to the organization, but from the business's perspective. And that turns IT into an enabler. It turns them into the tool that they're supposed to be. The original scope of the program changed, it died, and again got re-energized into a new environment. So what we found was that 50% of the IT organization, 1,500 people, let's say, had visual whiteboards, were doing stand-up meetings, et cetera. 10 to 15% were getting into Agile and Scrum, and the rest of the organization was going, not us. And we had to get to the rest of the organization. And the way we got to the rest of the organization was we said, okay, it's Christmas. And if it's Christmas, what is your biggest challenge? And can we then apply something to go and help you. And we never said we were going to use lean. So there was no Japanese words, there were no lean words. It was just, what is your problem? Well, let's diagram it. So, and we didn't use the fancy value stream map figures. We just used Post-it notes. So the strongest tool I had was a whiteboard, Post-it notes, and a flip chart. And getting people to go and put the Post-it notes up and say, well, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? So what? So asking the questions why and so what, and then very simple tools, and that got people to engage. It's still not easy. There's pockets that we won't go, but I think that's true everywhere. So as last year, Takashi Tanaka blew me away. So I know he's speaking tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to listening to him. But I think the main thing this year was listening to, if year one was what is Lean and what is Lean IT, and do we even have a chance of introducing Lean into an IT environment, whether it's manufacturing or service industry, it didn't matter. Lean 2 was, okay, we know we can be successful, and here are some examples of how to do that. But the presentation this morning by the Grameen Foundation, and how now do you take this and enable farmers in Uganda, and then go back and do value stream maps and scrum talks, and then go back out to a bunch of farmers that are 200 kilometers away. That was fascinating. That was really fascinating, because that gave a whole different twist to thinking differently and seeing differently and what you were trying to do. Because obviously this farmer could give a toss about value stream maps, and he would never want to understand Pareto. He just wanted a crop to grow.